Welcome back. We're here with Sophia from Bloomco. Sophia, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, Easton. I'm so excited to be
I'm
here.
I'm excited to dive into your story, especially with you being a student and a business owner. I think a lot of especially students are going to be able to learn from your journey, your mindset, all of those things. So thank you so much for coming on. And like I appreciate it. So thank you.
Yep, thank you for
So
having
can you
me.
talk about why you decided to get into the flower industry?
So, a lot of things that I hear from other people is that the revenue is terrible, that you don't make much money from flowers, it's a seasonal job. Especially for being a full-time student, everyone always asks me, why do I want to do florals? Well, that's just the one thing I think I do best. I've done many events for family members and just something that I have a passion for. And I have slowly connected my passion for hospice care and elderly and this floral business into providing them with arrangements as well from my clients that are, having extra flowers left over or willing to donate a little bit more just to provide back to the community. I feel like when you are a student and a full-time student at that, you just do everything that's connected through the school and you kind of forget about the community itself. And so that's pretty much my goal with this business.
So at what point did you take that passion for flowers and then you were like, okay, I'm going to turn this now into a business?
Actually, recently my sister had my niece's second birthday, and I made arrangements for this really long table. And her friends are about 27 to 30 years old. They're already established in their jobs and whatnot, and they just kept coming up to me telling me that they were so pretty, that they wanted to see more of it, that they would pay me to make
Yeah.
things for, you know, special holidays and events for them as well. And I thought, well, I feel like I'm always just like, I'm going to do it kind of person. I keep saying I am, but I never actually do. And so I just thought I'd jump right in, try to see if it works.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think it's the best when the business kind of comes to you, right? Like you weren't thinking of necessarily starting a flower business, but then as soon as people are like, "Sophia, I'm going to pay you to do this." You're like, I would probably assume a little taken back like I can make money from actually doing this. It's not just like a hobby.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I did recently have an event where I worked with a med spa, and for every client that either had a service or bought something, came to me for a free flower arrangement. It was connected through the med spa. And soon as I gave them the rundown, my background, sort of why I'm doing it all, they're so willing to help me out and just loved my story. So hopefully these connections will get me somewhere to helping others in my community as
What do you
well.
think about your story really stands out to people?
I think because I'm on the pre-med track, it is very difficult to balance work and life and school. And I just think that because I have such a passion for this and, just trusting myself as someone who's only 20 years old, that I can deal with the legalities
Yes.
and the paperworks and the taxes, as well as having to worry about when my next exam is going to be. I think that's just very, um, you know, I forgot the word. Sorry, apologize.
No, you're good. Yeah, it's I
Inspiring.
yeah. I mean, I think being an entrepreneur at your age just by itself is impressive. And then when you add in school and then you add in your full time job, I think it really shows people what's possible. And for those students that may be watching this, or even maybe just watching you on social media that are looking to start a business or that want to start a business, what would your advice be to them when it comes to managing school while also managing a business?
I would say the number one thing is for people in our generation, we have everything at the touch of our fingertips. We have so many resources to stay organized. We have now AI to help us. And I feel like if we incorporate that and just doing our research, you can look up anything. I didn't have to ask anyone for help. You know what
Wow.
I mean? So, because we have that deep knowledge that older generations don't have, that we can really have a foot ahead of basically what's been established
So
previously.
you would say it's more about you accessing the resources that you had, which allowed you to then feel comfortable and feel confident actually taking that leap into starting a business while managing all of that other stuff on the side.
Yes, I feel like if I didn't have social media and people to uplift me online, even, I feel like the voices and the people closest to me would probably bring me down enough to not want to start something. It's always like, Sophia, why are you putting your extra time into this? You should be focusing on school. But once I see other people doing exactly what I'm doing, I know that I can just do school, do business, and be successful with it.
And how do you go about not listening to those voices? Because I think as entrepreneurs, that is something we struggle with a lot. If that's our family members, if that's our friends, if that's other students or people around us, how do you go about kind of dealing with the negativity that comes with starting a business for the people that are spreading that negativity that are close to you?
I think explaining the why to people, why you are doing exactly what you're doing. You know what I mean? I feel like when you initially propose an idea to a family member or a friend, they just think, oh, you're just doing that in your free time. It's just a waste of time. You're bored. You don't know what you're doing. But once you say, like, I'm doing, for example, florals because I want to also work with, we honor veterans in Knoxville and work with other companies like med spas and do all this and that and networking, then people understand the real reason and the drive behind what you're willing to make happen.
Yeah. And I want you to kind of dive into what, when you're creating your bunches of flowers for either a wedding or an event, can you kind of talk about what your thought process is when it comes to actually like putting the flowers together and making the colors match and like that type of thing?
Well, because of AI also as well, I have the ability to take AI generated photos of the flowers that I'm looking for and literally making collages and pieces on my iPad, just stickers of them, and putting together, where I want a specific flower at or what color works best with this one. And then once a client can see what I've breaking down for them, then they start to trust me a little bit more. Just because since I am a new business as well, and I do have a vision in my head, it's hard for clients to envision it themselves.
Yeah, I definitely think using the technology is something that like I would have never thought about using like AI generated pictures to show to my clients to build credibility. So I definitely think bringing in that bringing in that technology not only builds credibility, but I think it also will take away some time when it comes to actually thinking about like what do I want it to look like. It kind of helps you guide that creative process because as you know that's a lot of brain power putting into what I want it to look like, what colors do I want it to be, where do I want it to be positioned. So I think it also like helps you just take off your plate to be like, hey, like let's not think about like the art side that much so it can focus on more serving my client.
Yes, yes, exactly. I full-heartedly agree with you.
And what is with you starting your new business, what has been the most difficult thing that you've had to overcome?
I think it's just the hump of starting a business with no followers, posting online and seeing truly who wants to
Yeah.
support you and who doesn't, especially just even as a young female. Um, Other people's opinions do matter, especially with growing up with social media around. So having to just get past the thought that people won't support your business or it won't be successful in the beginning is just, it's really important to have someone, just one person in your life to
Yeah.
support you and get through that hump.
And who's that person for you?
Bella Matasic. I love her so much. And she is creating a wonderful app called Zesty Coach, and she's going to be very successful with it.
Yes. And along that journey and that struggle of dealing with negativity, is there anything that you have learned about yourself through this journey that you didn't know before you started?
What I did learn from this journey is that having confidence in myself and knowing that since I'm a people person and I can get myself very far from just my presence and my image and networking. I feel like it's hard for clients to want to trust a person that isn't displaying what they like, what they are, what they look like. You know, if it's just a secret person behind
Yeah,
the screen, they're just posting their products. I feel like just creating a face and a name in my community is going to help me as well.
absolutely. And you are also Christian, correct?
Yes, yes, I
What
am.
aspect of the Bible has impacted your life most?
I would say just knowing that I can't control everything in my life and just giving it all up to God's will and knowing that if I try something, I know that God will either make it work out or not. So, but I can't just be sitting here and being afraid of not, putting my foot forward and starting something. Um, just, letting things happen as they go and just having that trust that if it's for me, it's for
Is
me.
that trusting something that you've had to work on throughout your life?
For sure. I grew up Christian, and then once I got a little bit around my teenage years, strayed away from God. I was around people that weren't Christian either, and I just feel like once I took a step back and sort of isolated myself and wanted to understand what kind of successes I want in life, what kind of people I want to surround myself with, then that really just helped me grow my faith and knowing, if I can stay strong in God, then all the people around me that will benefit me and uplift me will come as well.
And
So,
it sounds like this trusting in God has played a huge part in your business.
yes, yes, for sure. And I feel like also just the light and the joy that it gives me being a Christian, I hope that I can just affect other people in their daily lives and just helping them smile.
Absolutely. And I think carrying those values in in a business, if you're Christian or not, I still think carrying those type of values of wanting to help people, of wanting to spread positivity, and then of just like you mentioned, I think the trusting aspect is huge because I think when you trust yourself or you trust God or the universe or whatever you would like to call it, the way you move is different. You're not desperate, you're not chasing after things, you're actually here to help. So I definitely think having those type of values is important. And then I think just as a business owner on top of it, because life I think itself is very chaotic. Then when you add in a business and like you being a student plus having a job, it's very very chaotic. And can you kind of give some practical? This might be a little difficult to articulate, but can you give a little practical advice for people that are struggling to trust that things are going to work out?
Um, put it like this. Where do you know the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years or whatnot? And then just take a look back at if you were asked that question 5 or 10 years ago, where would you be? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I thought I was going to be in a completely different major, a school. I thought that my life was still going to be on the West Coast, even. And so, just knowing and understanding that this is for the better, that what I didn't see for whatever it was back then that I thought would benefit me actually didn't. So, now knowing that I've already went through enough trials and tribulations, just trying to navigate through my young adulthood, that I think that I can
Yeah.
trust in God for the rest of it.
I love
So
it. And I think that is the most interesting thing about life is the plan that we usually think is the perfect plan is usually not the best plan for us. And it usually, I would say 99% of the time, never works out the way that we think it's going to.
yes, yes, I agree.
So it is very, very interesting. So I have two more questions for you. If you
Hmm.
could have dinner with two people, one person from the past and one person from the present, who would it be and why?
That is a very good question. Does this have to be someone that you
No.
know, or is it just a
Nope, just
random
whoever you want
person?
from the beginning of Earth to now for the person that passed away.
From the past, I would love to have sit down with Jesus and, obviously thank him for everything he's done. But someone from my future, um, probably, I guess, either my future husband or my future self, because I just want to know that whoever I choose one day, that they're going to support me and uplift me just how I am to other people. I don't want to be with somebody that doesn't want the best for me. So I will keep waiting. But I guess those are my two people that I would sit
I
with.
love it. And a bonus question. If you could ask Jesus one thing and get a definite answer, what would you ask him?
Why is the sky blue?
That's it? That you'd ask him?
That's probably,
Yeah.
yeah,
Why? Why why that question?
because I feel like that's the biggest question that everyone asks. No one knows the answer
That's
to.
true. And he would probably know that answer. I have
Yeah.
one more question for you. Why did you
Mhm.
decide to partner with us and offer the discounts?
I decided to partner with you guys and offer the discounts because my business is based on, I'm not focused on finances. I'm focused on helping others, giving back to others, and building a community of even just entrepreneurs and networking. So working with you guys and giving these discounts isn't just for the benefit of me, it's because I want to benefit others as well. And I know that my clients would also be very grateful for me to give them this discount. And I trust you guys, and hearing what your company is based on and understanding why you're doing what you're doing has really just, you know, made me want to work with you guys. So I'm so excited to see what we're going to do
Yes, I
together.
am as well. So thank you so much for not only doing it, but the kind words and trusting in us. So thank you for that. Um, those are all the questions I have for you. How can people find you? And what is one thing you want to leave people with?
Okay. So where you can find me on is Instagram. I think it's Bloom Florals Co. And then that's also my same handle for Facebook. I'm working on a website right now. And then once I get my portfolio up, I've already worked through the working with warehouses and wholesalers for flowers. Then I will get that all finished. But in the meantime, what I would leave you guys with is um, the early bird gets the worm.
That's a good one.
Waking up early has gotten me a lot of places this year, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yes, I love it. Great advice. And I agree completely because I've been doing the same thing. So, Sophia, thank you for coming on the podcast. I appreciate you. Great advice, not only for business owners, but students. I think the things you shared are very important, especially when it comes to the tech and the AI usage in your business. So, I just want to say thank you for coming on the podcast. If you could stay in the room after we finish and we can chat after. So, thank you for coming on.
Yep, thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.